What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. Happy Tuesday. I'm back on, to do what I do, complex simplicity style. Today I wanted to talk about how fame is a hell of a drug. That's the title. Fame is a hell of a drug. I just got finished watching the Breakfast Club interview with Cardi B. I watched the interview that Ebro had done with Cardi B when she was in Miami, when the album first dropped. I also just got finished watching Ebro and Hot 97 having an interview with Cardi B. And first things first, I think her album is pretty dope for her first album. I think it was great. It's actually an album you can listen to from beginning to end. I listened to it in the car a few times. That's when I kind of feel like I could really zone out with music, especially new music. And when I went for my run the other day, I was able to run to the whole album for the most part. I found myself feeling motivated, feeling pumped. I do believe that her song, the first song of the album, which is called, how am I forgetting it? I fell down 9 times, but I get up 10. Get up 10. There you go. To me, that song is so inspirational. It does remind me of like a Meek Mill vibe with Dreams and Nightmares, how it takes you on this journey of her kind of talking about her humble beginnings and just how hopeful and how bad she wanted to make it and to be successful. And then it gets into that cocky-ish where, she addresses a lot of the criticism and hates that she has gotten since she's really been rising to the top. And let's keep it real, Cardi B, I think she's like the people's champ, right? In the sense of she's like that classic Cinderella story. She's that young lady who hustled, was in the strip clubs, dealing with that nightlife, and was able to had a mastermind plan. Y'all know I'm always talking about masterminding, how to do whatever it is that you want to do. And from a young girl, because I think this was back when she was 18, 19, she's in the strip clubs and she masterminded enough to be able to get out. There are a lot of people who have actually made full-time careers out of being strippers, no judgment. But Cardi B wasn't one of those people. She's like, I have bigger dreams and there are other things that I want with my life. And so, I applaud her for her masterminding how to get up out that strip club, which involved her saving her bread, saving her money. It involved her, figuring out what it was that she wanted to do. And naturally so, a lot of people in, the music industry are in strip clubs, and maybe she was able to use some of those networks or relationships, and she grinded. She came out with 2 mixtapes, and I remember watching her on her Instagram page going from club booking to club booking, all these club hostings, and then I started to see that she was playing her music, her first single, come outside, Lil, come outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at first it's like, whoa, I don't know about this, but then it just became infectious. And to see her grind and really work her records and work hard and invest her own money in herself before, the masses were like, come on in, you're a star, we want you. Like, she had to create her own lane, work real hard, and figure it out. A lot of the things I talk about, which is why Cardi B is one of the rising stars that I have often made reference to, because I feel like she's a living testament of what hard work and being your authentic self, being who the hell you really are, how far that could actually get you, and I, even listening to that song, Get Up 10, every time I listen to it, I was listening to it on my way to work this morning, it gets me pumped. I feel like when music can evoke emotion out of you, can inspire you, like you're on to something, right? And I feel like even that song reminds me of Chanel. It don't matter if people are out here being ratchet. It don't matter if you don't have a lot of, a big following on social media. It doesn't matter that you may not get a lot of looks on YouTube. Like, at the end of the day, I'm being true to who I am, and I'm genuinely trying to offer something to the public, that can be of help. And now maybe my style, or my genre is more along the lines of the self-help thing, mixed with a little entertainment in there. But that's a big part of who I am, in my life. My family will say that to you. My friends will say that to you. A big part of who I am is an uplifter, an encourager, someone who's going to be honest with you, someone who's going to say, hey, maybe look at things this way, out of love and out of care, and so I have to stay true to myself and stay true to that. If I expect for anything to come of this, or for me to have some type of financial gain, or for me to really actually be able to help people out there, the only way that's going to happen, aside from having a strong work ethic, aside from being relentless and persistent and consistent, is going to be for me to be myself. Chanel Casimir, love me or leave me alone. I get that this is not for everybody. I know who my audience is. And so, when I hear that song, Get Up 10, it just reminds me of the fight that is within me. I'm a very laid back person naturally. But let me tell you something. There is like this fire and desire and burn and yearn that's in my heart to succeed and to make it. And not, like I say, in the sense of fame and all of that kind of stuff, but just to really be able to be successful and enjoy and love what I'm doing. And don't let the laid backness fool you. This girl is always like on it, masterminding, figuring it out. I'm gonna start calling it, I'm always getting my Cardi B on. I'm Cardi Bing it, meaning, even when people doubt me or people don't pay too much mind to anything I'm doing, for now, but you will one day be like, damn, why didn't I give that EP one more listen? Damn, why didn't I invest in her when I could have? Or damn, why didn't I, support her with these projects she was doing when I really could have? You're gonna say that. And I'm not saying that in a smug, arrogant way. I'm just saying that in a way of I have confidence in what I'm doing, and I know that this is going to bear amazing fruit. And so I keep plugging away, I keep pushing, I keep going hard. And when I think of Cardi B, that's what I think of. Someone who didn't give up, who's not giving up. I love the whole album. I love the song she did with YG. She bad, she bad, she bad. She bad. That's dope. That'll be one for the strip clubs out here, I love the song with SZA. I love the song with Kehlani. I love the song with Chance the Rapper. I feel like her and her team, they did a good job. And what I also loved in the interviews that Cardi was doing that I watched this evening is, they brought up the fact that, people are saying you had a ghostwriter. She said, I don't have a ghostwriter. I make it very clear, my homie who has been helping me. And yes, I do write, and contribute and write. He helps to co-write with me. I love the fact that she was honest about that. Because, in the hip hop realm, you best not have a ghostwriter. You're supposed to be penning or, your own stuff. But the fact that she was able to admit it, because let's keep it real, a lot of your favorite artists, with the exception of the Jay-Z's and the late greats like Big and Pac, but a lot of and then maybe the Nas's, but a lot of your favorite artists have help. Let's not get anything twisted. And so the fact that Cardi was able to be honest and say that she has had a co-writer, someone from her camp who has helped her to write some of her songs, I think that that's dope. It just reminds me of why the world has taken to her, because she's always herself and she keeps it real. That'll go very far in life. It'll take us all very far, y'all. So salute to you, Cardi, for always being honest, transparent, and keeping it real. What I really loved about her interview, and just things that I've been seeing in general, I even watched Ray J and his wife Princess on The Breakfast Club. I just kind of was just catching up on a lot of my favorite radio shows and podcasts the past few days. Those always help to inspire me as well. Let me tell y'all something. I've never been famous, not trying to be famous, but I've always believed that fame is a hell of a drug. And artists like Jay-Z have said this. Many people say this in the industry. A lot of times we warn our children, our loved ones, to say no to drugs, meaning cocaine, meaning heroin, weed, all those kinds of things, alcohol. Fame is a drug. wanting that attention could also be very addictive. And we're in the day and time and era where social media, people are becoming insta famous, right? You know, people are becoming well known, recognizable just off of their social media. And I do believe that there are a lot of people who are becoming addicted to this yearning to be known, to be famous in some way. And I really strongly feel like fame is a drug. And if we're not careful, many of us could fall privy to this very thing. You know, Cardi, I'm glad she said this a few times. She said it in the interview with The Breakfast Club. She said, you know, I've been telling people I was happier when I was a stripper. My life was a lot more simple. My life was more normal. Now I feel like I am a literal monkey in the zoo. I feel like I'm an animal in the zoo. This is what she said, you know, where everybody just wants to stop and stare at you. She's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know, people kind of build you up just to tear you down, which is so true. It's a sick thing, but it's true. It's to the point where we as the public, a lot of us feel like we deserve and have every right to know every inkling of these artists, these actors, these actresses, singers, rappers, whatever, reality TV stars. We feel like we're supposed to know every aspect of their lives, which is so ridiculous, you know? Of course, she got hit with a lot of questions when she revealed on SNL that she was pregnant. Sidebar, I'm like, I knew it from like a long time ago. Once I started seeing Cardi drastically switch up how she was dressing, because, you know, I've been following Cardi B from when she was so stripping at Sue's Rendezvous, right? Shout out to Mount Vernon. Sue's used to be a strip club in Mount Vernon. So that's been a few years, right? Before she was on Love and Hip Hop, before all of that, I was on to Cardi B and following her on her Instagram page from like 2016, maybe end of 2015, early 2016. We're in 2018, so that goes to show you it's been a while that I've kind of been up on Cardi B and recognizing that she had this star power and that she was going to make it, right? And so early on, because I've seen and followed her for so long, I'm like, maybe she is pregnant because she's starting to cover up. I don't think this is an image thing. Cardi's the kind of artist that you kind of just let her be her. Let her be wild. Let her be that wild horse, so to speak, in the stable. Let her shine and be who she is. That is the brand. That is Cardi's brand, right? She's unfiltered with what she talks about. She does actually have a message in between all of the ratchet talk. And, you know, she was always known for wearing, you know, a lot of clothes. She was on that Fashion Nova tip from years ago, and she was known for wearing, you know, clothes that showcased her body. So when I started to notice that she was covering herself up, and I started to notice she was putting on a little weight, and don't get me wrong, I you know, sometimes when you become successful and you're making a lot of money, you're eating at different places, life is a little bit different, you can put on a couple of pounds, right? But she naturally is a pretty small young lady, petite meaning thin, and I started to notice, this is not like normal weight gain. She's covered up, like this girl is pregnant. I felt that way for months. Especially when I started noticing how she was capturing herself on camera, that she wasn't doing as many Instagram videos as she used to. You know, the pattern switched up a bit. So of course they had to ask her this question. She's been getting a lot of backlash from her fans, from even the people in her own circle in some way, with concern about, is she ruining her career? Why, at the pinnacle of her success, she's finally getting to that point that she wants to be, why have a baby now? You know, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I won't go deep into that. I feel like there are other reasons why Cardi got pregnant at this time. And all I will say is, if you look at a lot of public figures or celebrities who seem to fall into this category, maybe you'll be able to connect dots and it'll make sense. This, to me, is a pattern that often happens, and it happens when there's celebrities paired with other celebrities. celebrities that are coupled with other celebrities, and then all of a sudden they're having a child. So I think that it's more, in my mind, the conspiracy theorist in me, it's more to it than just, oh, we're in love and we had one wild night and we had a baby. As my mother always says, it's not that easy to get pregnant. Meaning, there are too many things out there for us women to use to not get pregnant. Whether that's birth control, whether that's morning after pills, condoms. Like, there's too many things out there for us to not get pregnant. So, we're out of the era of, oops, how did that happen? We're in 2018. There are many ways to not get pregnant. So that's why I feel like it's more to it than that. But just to keep it on a more surface level, I won't dig deep. I'm not trying to have nobody shut me down, right? I think that, she's going to be okay. And, for her, she feels that, she doesn't like, babies are blessings. And she doesn't like that people are now kind of taking away the fact that babies are a blessing and putting more energy on the fact that she's ruining her life, she's ruining her career. Even when I think of Kylie Jenner, I'll just put that there. She's in a celebrity relationship with Travis Scott, and oops, we have a baby. I think there's more to it than that, folks. Let's all just keep our eyes open. Open your eyes to this music industry. It's the same one-trick pony, so to speak. With everybody, with a lot of these stars, when you're rising to the top very fast, or your star power is just that bright, a lot of times you'll find that they're coupled with another celebrity, and they make this huge celebrity couple, which of course makes a lot of more money because everyone gets attention, and then it's this whole, here comes baby, here comes proposal. It's just it's a similar formula. But anyway, I digress. And so what I would say is, Cardi has the resources, the finances. She's a millionaire. Her husband's a millionaire. Her fiance's a millionaire. They're going to be all right. That baby financially will be okay. I'm not concerned about her ability to take care of her child. It's not like she's 16 and broke, or 20 and broke, or 25 and broke. She has the money. She has the resources to provide this child with a great life. I believe she's having a baby girl. I think her sister Hennessy kind of slipped up and put that out there by mistake. And even Cardi slipped up in her interview with with Hot 97 as well. I caught it. She slipped up just a little by saying she, and I think she caught herself. So I believe they're having a baby girl, and so I don't, that baby's going to be well taken care of. The part that I'm hoping Cardi actually really takes some time out, because she's working hard, right? Her schedule seems like it is booked up until she gives birth. And then I believe she's supposed to give birth at some point in July, and then she's going on tour with Bruno Mars in September. So she may have a month off, maybe a month and change. Probably really just a month. I think she said 3 weeks to a month she'll be able to nest with the baby. And then she's on tour and the baby's going with her. So my hope for her is actually that she takes some quiet time to really register that she is going to be a parent, she's going to be a mother, and she's going to be responsible for another life, responsible for their emotional health, is responsible for their mental health, responsible for their physical safety, their physical health. The list goes on. I was saying to my coworker early today, I'm not a parent yet, but working in the field of social work for so long, I recognize that you can have all the money in the world, all the finances in the world. At the end of the day, when you're a parent, that's still an awesome responsibility that you have for another life. You have the ability to make or break someone, meaning the ability to raise a child in healthy environments, for them to be emotionally balanced and well and sane and stable. And you also have the ability for them to not become well-adjusted people, adults, to have awful childhoods, to have trauma, to face abuse, neglect, and the list goes on. And so I'm just hoping that her and Offset, I know Offset already is a father of 4, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm just hoping that they both recognize that they are responsible for another life, and that they can't let all this Hollywood-ish and all of this pandemonium and celebrity get in the way of that. At the end of the day, they're normal people and they have a child who is going to rely on them and need them for at least 18 years of their life. And I'm hoping she takes that time out, because when she's being asked all these questions about being a mommy, you can tell she's not 100% comfortable really talking about where she's at with that. And it could be that she just wants to keep it personal and close to her. But I also, for some reason, get the spidey sense that she is still really trying to register and deal with the fact that she's about to be a parent. Wanting children and being in a position where you're on the way to have one are two different things, right? And I could imagine I have had or have close girlfriends who are mothers, and you know, one of my good friends, I was with her every step of the way during her pregnancy, and it's anxiety ridden. You know, I saw her go through a roller coaster of emotions and fear, and oh my goodness, am I going to really be able to take care of this life and keep this child alive and be good to them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. And because I am in the social work field, I understand how you can make or break a child in their childhood and how they turn out and adjust in life. And so I'm just hoping, celebrity aside, that they, meaning Cardi and Offset, really zone into that. Cardi really zones into, okay, this album is done. I did SNL, I was on Jimmy Fallon, I'm on all these, radio interviews, at all these radio interviews, doing all this media, all this press, she's preparing for Coachella in a couple of weeks out in LA. Like, I'm hoping she takes some time aside to really stop and prepare herself emotionally for parenthood as much as she can. And of course, the normal preparations that are needed when you're about to welcome a beautiful child into the world. And she's 25, she's still young. Makes me think of Kylie Jenner. She's 20 years old, young, rich, right? Comes from an extremely successful family. And I still get the sense that, she's still going to go through what parents go through. Them days where you don't want to be bothered. You're overwhelmed. You're not getting enough sleep. You're sleep deprived. You're feeling, whatever you're feeling. It's not, like, parenthood is not easy. My friends who have kids tell me, and even when they don't tell me, I could look at them and tell when it's one of those moments, one of those days, one of those periods, so to speak, of parenting where you're just like, so it's real, it's something I think you should be of a certain age emotionally, and maybe even biologically when you're about to have a child of your own or children of your own. I'm 34 and I'm still not all the way ready. You know what I'm saying? I battle with it all the time, because I feel like my biological clock is racing. I'm keeping it real. But also I'm like, don't let that lead me or make me feel like now's the time when it's not. I'm still trying to build and grind, so that I could be in a different position financially, so that we can bring a child into this world and not feel even more overwhelmed or stressed, you know what I'm saying? But to feel like, okay, now I can kick back and be pregnant and kind of like put this child as my priority, because that's what really happens, got feathers in here. That's what happens, children become the priority a lot of times. And so you just really got to make sure you're ready, or as ready. Some people say you'll never be ready, but to me, there's a certain level of ready I believe you can be, and so I wish them the best. And, just listening and watching those clips, just reminded me, because I'm going to keep it all the way real. I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a part of me deep down inside that, would welcome some level of notoriety or some level of fame in a way where you're like, yep, I know about Complex Simplicity. Yep, I know about Chanel Casimir from Complex Simplicity. She's a vlogger, blogger, singer, songwriter, author. I know about her. I would love to be able to have opportunities where I can be on talk shows, bringing awareness to my movement and selling whatever it is that I have out, whether it's a book or whatever it is, music. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have that dream somewhat. And so I like when I'm grounded and reminded that fame it's not all that it's cracked up to be, y'all. These people live more stressful lives than not. Money isn't everything, and a lot of times when we lead more simpler lives, those are the more happy and fulfilling lives. However, I do firmly believe in working hard at what you want, going for your dreams, and really just having a balanced perspective with it, right? So yes, I do need some level of awareness from my movement to be able to help spread my positive message to the world, right? But that doesn't mean I don't want to be the superstar. You know what I'm saying? I want great opportunities that can afford me to live with some financial freedom, 100%. But I don't want it to be to the point where now I'm being controlled because now I sold my soul, or because I'm out here like focusing on all the wrong things, or I'm finally where I want to be with my career, but I'm extremely miserable and unhappy because it's all smoke and mirrors, and these things it's not as cracked up to be as I thought it was. And that's kind of the sense that I got from Cardi B in her interviews, that she finally made it to where she wants to be. And I don't know that she's having that much fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are moments where she's like, oh my gosh, let me pinch myself. This is everything. This is so crazy. I can't believe it. But then I feel like there still is a huge part of her, where you're not fully able to do everything that you want to do, how you want to do it. You're not, there are people who kind of do control certain things, and that your life is no longer your own. That's why she entitled her album Invasion of Privacy, because she said as she was working on this album, everybody's trying to invade her privacy. Is Cardi pregnant? Is this album going to be a hit? Is this going to be the demise of her career? Everybody's going in for the attack. Everybody's there with the critique, advice, solicited, unsolicited. And so it's a hard thing to deal with. You really have to be a strong person. And she was even able to say, I understand why people end up using cocaine, why people become alcoholics, why people go down these paths, because that industry is a lot to it. And I find myself even every now and then when I'm with one of my girlfriends who's trying to break into this industry as an actress, just know what you're getting into. I don't want you getting in, going for these things blindly, because a lot of times it seems great when it's a dream that you're trying to reach for. But once you make it and you start to see, ooh, this ain't all fun. This is not what it's cracked up to be. Why am I finding myself more unhappy than happy? And I finally have everything that I always ever wanted. That's the industry for you. That's the entertainment business. It's not sunshine and rainbows. It's not for the faint of heart. To be honest with you, it's not for the goody two-shoes. It's not, you have to really want to make it and love money to make it in this industry. I'm sorry, but I feel like, which is why they say money is the root of all evil, because I feel like you have to want it to a different level to really be able to make it and potentially sustain with all the evils and craziness that you're going to have to witness and see and maybe even be a part of. And so, anybody that I know that's aiming, really gunning to be a star and to be in this industry, I just say, please do your homework and know what you're getting yourself into. Don't go into this blindly. I'm not saying don't go for your dreams. What I'm saying is don't go into this industry with the blinders on, thinking that, you can really just be on the up and up and make it to be a big time star. That's really, in my opinion, not how it works. Cardi, she makes it very clear she loves that money. She's always trying to get to that money. That money is her goal, right? And so the love and passion that she has to be financially straight is probably what's going to help her to deal with all of the other stuff that comes with the entertainment business. Another thing I will say, as I'm along the lines of entertainment business, I watch a lot of talk shows, whether it's The Real, whether it's Daily Pop on the E! channel. You know, I watch a lot of podcasts. I love the Joe Budden podcast. I love The Breakfast Club. You know, sometimes I watch Ebro and Hot 97 and them. To the people out there in the media world, this burns and grinds my gears, boils my blood and grinds my gears. Please make sure that you're really doing your research on these stories that y'all are putting out there. I get it. You want the clickbait. You want people to tune in. You know, you want to kind of, a part of their job is to help to create the hysteria and to help do whatever, right? So to tell these stories, salacious news at times, I get it. But please make a point to fact check as much as you can, or to at least report things accurately. I'm someone who's not even in the media circuit like that, and I feel like I can articulate certain stories more accurately than them. Whatever interns or whoever y'all got working for y'all, please make sure that they do their research. Like, it's, to me, it just boils my blood. Wendy Williams, all of them, because there are times where I feel like these stories are being told, and I'm like, this is not even accurate. I just read this on the Shade Room, or I just read this here. Like, if you're gonna tell the story, however it's out there, please fact check. Don't make no silly mistakes about it. Like, these are people's lives, these are people's careers, and they have these huge platforms. And like Monique said when she was on The Breakfast Club, you can't sit on these huge platforms and use your voice to bring people down or to perpetuate things that are going to go against the people of color plight, or go against, you know, women not being able to get equal pay and as men do in certain situations. Like, just use your platforms as responsibly as you can. I get it. Everybody has to eat, and there are times where you do have to report what's going on in pop culture, but at least just try to, like, report as accurately as you can. And even if that means you have to use the word allegedly 20 times, it is what it is. But sometimes you just hear these outlandish stories, or you just hear them botching what the news is reporting, or botching certain stories. And it's like, come on, get the person's name straight. Have the right celebrity attached to what you're talking about. Like, make sure that y'all are like, just clean that ish up, if that's what I'm trying to say. It just boils my blood, because then it makes it seem like anybody can sit in that chair and do what y'all do in media. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are supposed to be the chosen ones, the ones who are like great at what you do, the masters at what you do, and we all make human error. But when you see it happen repeatedly, it's annoying. And another thing that annoys me with a lot of the media is sometimes people just run with their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I've watched so many of these outlets, whether it's Wendy Williams, it's Daily Pop, it's whoever, and they're like just making up all kinds of stories in their mind about what's going on with the Kardashians, or what's going on with this celebrity, or what's going on with that celebrity. Like, they'll have a whole narrative, a whole story for you that's just their perspective, but they say it in a way as if it's almost like Bible. I don't know, maybe that's what they feel is going to help people to really be into it, or into them, or into their storytelling. But these are people's lives, and regardless of whether they're rich or not, celebrities or not, millionaires or not, like, let's just be a little bit more responsible. I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense to most of you. Just my thoughts. But anyway, fame is a hell of a drug. So for all of us out there, let's add that to the list of dangerous substances, right, that can really affect our lives. Fame is up there. Wanting that level of attention is out there. I think so many people just want to be famous and think that that equates to money when it doesn't. There are plenty of artists that are our favorite artists out here who were famous and were still broke, okay? So fame does not always equal money. And wanting that level of attention to that degree could be a very dangerous thing. So let's just, remind each other and the youth that are within our lives, within our reach, to be careful when it comes to wanting that level of attention and fame. Because a lot of people who actually have that level of fame are not quite as happy as you think they are for more reasons than one. Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. And then when you get it, you got to be able to deal with it, right? And you got to want what you get. And so, you know, nothing's wrong with trying to build and want to be in the entertainment industry, but just don't go into it blindly, folks. Let's all keep it, you know, let's all be realistic about how it is all smoke and mirrors, and it's more calculated than one probably would really think. And it's all fun in the beginning, but it gets to be to a point where I think, like maybe where Cardi B is, where it could start to make you more miserable than not. Because nobody wants to live in a fishbowl. It's not an easy thing. And it's almost as if your life is no longer your own. When I think of the Whitney Houstons, I think of the Michael Jacksons. These people were tortured souls. A lot to be said about that. But I won't go too deep. Anyway, continue to rock out with your girl by going to complexsimplicity.com. And until next time.